illegitimately legitimizing the policies of the Federal Reserve Bank and all those Federal Reservists, all these private interests, this quasi-entity that's got no business being protected by a fully governmental entity like the FBI. No, let them get their own security agency. You want to protect yourself from counterfeit? Then you do that, Federal Reservists. Why evil minions will rule in hell? No, your masters will. I wonder what I meant by that. Perks of being a nobody. I talked about that earlier. By invitation of truth is the best method to serve God. Yeah, being, you do it of your own free will and accord, you serve God. That's how you can be most affected and most comforted and encouraged. It's not going to be easy. You're still stuck in the storm of life and you're going against the grain of the establishment. So yeah, you're going to meet a lot of resistance. People are they're going to hate you without cause, but at least it's without cause. Okay, don't give people reason to hate you. So watch your rhetoric, be polite, be diplomatic, be tactful in how you speak about other people so they're not cursing you in any justifiable manner later. Be very mature about it. Be very godly and holy in how you correct people and how you excoriate people. You do have an obligation to do that, by the way, but do it in a way that's going to be effective, that's going to help pull them out of darkness and into light. Remembering what's written in your Bible, how all heaven rejoices over one sinner that repents and 99 righteous people that didn't need to. Superficial versus profound gratitude, or money versus happiness. Yep, the temporal versus the eternal. That's what that's all about. That's what I'm talking about there. Know the valuable from the invaluable and all points in between. And who gives you those values? Who gives you the understanding, the instinct, the intuition to understand those values and to embrace the proper values that are going to bring you life, liberty, and happiness, freedom. They take advantage of our Achilles heel that by knowledge of good and evil, by making us insane like them, no doubt about it. The FBI, a proxy arm of the Federal Reserve, infinite heirs by default. Just like high tax are never good, neither is a high cost of living. Where do we derive the meaning, the understanding, the perceptions we behold? Our upbringing, our parents, our peers, the dictionary definition, world experience. There's a number of ways that make us individual and why we, the belief system we choose to embrace, there's a lot of factors that go into that. It's important that we all contemplate those things and understanding other people and sensitivity and how we can win them over to our beliefs. If we feel that's important, then we've got to do it as effectively as we possibly can. And that's with God's help always, with divine help. Are you politically left, right, or ambidextrous? Maybe it's best to be ambidextrous. That's what they say. It's the best for your brain to use both sides of it. So maybe that's what we need to be, just to reject this idea that I'm politically left or politically right. Say, no, I'm the best of both philosophies. That's all I choose to embrace. Why would I want to be anything less than that? So when you think about what I believe in, always believe it's the highest possible definition. I want everyone free. Absolute, universal freedom. Not for some, for everybody. I mean, that's what that means. Absolute, universal. That's what I want. I want the same thing for you that I want for me. That's all I preach. That's all I teach. That's all I want others to preach and teach. That's the only way I'm ever going to find happiness. So why wouldn't I? To me, it's completely logical. It works out mathematically. Use fiscal prudency when it comes to solving social economic ills, going after the heart of the beast, ending extreme poverty, extricating ourselves from this mess, understanding the difference between sound money and unsound money, true capitalism versus pseudo-capitalism, which is crony capitalism, which is fascism, which just causes rabid communism to flourish in the land. Understand these factors. Exactly whose property is government property? That's a good question to ask. How to develop your political ambidexterity muscle. Use it by honestly trying to heal the deliberately induced, highly suspect, made-up divisions manufactured by evil men. That's how to develop your political ambidexterity muscles. Use them. Try to heal the division, okay, that's been induced by these evil people. Consider, if you will, exactly what you would possess without other people. That's the thing I'd like to think about. I wouldn't have a damn thing. Like I said, I'd be wearing rags probably. I don't know where I'd have even gotten the rags, okay? And I'd probably be by the coast with some makeshift net I made from vines or something. That's all I got, man. That's it. And because you wouldn't even have a hook. Who would make you a hook? How do I know how to make a hook? Yeah, I mean, that's like forging metal or something. I mean, who the hell knows how to do that? Maybe I'd find a hook branch or something to find a snare fish or something. Maybe make a spear, something like that to catch some fish. I don't know what I'd do. But without other people, I know I wouldn't have a damn thing. And everybody ought to think about that. It took this collective to bring us to where we are, to have the stuff you have and to have the stuff I have. Okay? We're in this thing together. If we shared stuff, we could all be completely free and completely prosperous and have nothing to do with money. Just something that God gave us, granted us. Everything belongs to God. He owns it all. Did you know it is perfectly legal to be let go, fired for your political bent? That's true. Alex was complaining about people that he works for that are being kicked out of their apartments because of their political leanings. And as far as I know, to this day, it's perfectly legal to discriminate to the utmost in any way, shape, or form based on politics. Believe it or not, in America, that's the standard. It's illegal to discriminate in every other way I know of. But politically, it's 100% A-OK. And you wonder where the division comes from? Can you imagine? I mean, no attempt at all. No, you don't have to get along with each other. You don't have to talk and hash things out and agree that you have commonalities in your belief system. You agree in freedom or something. No, they don't want you to do that. No, you don't have to do that. Oh, you shouldn't have. No, this person's evil. You're right. And the same guy will tell you, no, that person's evil. You're right. I mean, you see what I mean? How they divide us and how we fall into their snare, their trap. Charity, is love, according to Gideon's Bible. I think that's a beautiful thing. Charity and love. Science, math, and logic are all behind God's truth and inevitable victory. Remembering that's also the enemy, the antithesis of what the enemy of our soul wants. That's Satan. That's the status quo, the establishment running this world. Daily, we humans contend with a battle within our own members. I've talked about that. Pray tell exactly whose land is government land. True or false, light is stronger than darkness. Well, we know that light always overcomes darkness. Mathematical understanding can be logically and scientifically proven. Of course it can be. That math is math. It always is logical and works out mathematically. We always want the good guy to win. Yeah, we have an instinct for good. You know, most people, at the end of the day, they always want the good guy to win. We are made in God's image and likeness. What on earth does that mean? Well, male and female. Much like human beings. That's it. He's a lot like us. We're a lot like God. He's a very generous, sharing, giving God. Why wouldn't he be if he owns everything? If you want to steal the wealth of a nation, you must do it legally. That's how these people operate. But it's not really legal. It's like I say, these politicians, these highfalutin politicians, legitimize the theft of the wealth of our nation with the Federal Reserve collaborating with them. And it's really illegitimate. It's not we the people making these decisions. They're doing it arbitrarily, capriciously, against the will of the people. 90% of the people plus were against the bailout of '08. Did that stop it? No, that's an idea of what I'm talking about. Things God may be rightfully angry about. I've already gone into some of that stuff. Inequality is an un-American value. What the delusional public believed about the homeless, the extremely poor, has manifested. You see, the way we think about people is what often people turn into. So if you think of them as animals, that's exactly what ends up manifesting. That's what we're actually turning them into animals by thinking of them in that way. Like Michael Savage talks. I mean, you know, I think the guy's got a lot of good qualities, and I think he's probably a pretty nice guy in person, but I strongly disagree with him on some of his thinking. Economically speaking, we know the bad chicken came before the bad egg. Why then do we blame the egg? You see, we blame the bad egg here. Like I talked about the whole minimum wage thing, people picking on minimum wage workers, oh, they're going to cause inflation. I'm thinking, my God, what, learn an iota of economic principle. Okay, why would you blame them when you know what came first? Come on, it doesn't make any sense. It's illogical. Jesus to law enforcement, please. If I've crawled into the bushes to sleep, don't disturb me unless you have a better place for me to sleep. That's what I think the homeless would say to the cops out there. You know, just tell your boss you're not doing your job if it means persecuting people. Whether liberal or conservative values, I'm for mathematical soundness, fiscal prudence, and logic. No one could ever convince me that this current system, this world order, is not insane. Something simply must be said, even if the words perturb some. Why do we tolerate the seeking of security